Hey, today's exciting episode is a study on some mistranslated words. We're just going to cover a few here. The word EASTER is not found in any translation except for the Anglican Catholic 1611 King James Version, and they defend it. They were Anglican Catholics. They use the Latin Vulgate. The Latin Vulgate has some errors in it, but it doesn't have this error, which is odd because they just chose to use the word EASTER. But in 29 places, the Hebrew word PESAK, which means Passover, is in the Greek as PASCHA. He's the PASCHA lamb. He's not the EASTER lamb. That's the Earth Mother's name, and it's a mistranslated word. And that is located at Acts 12, verse 4. A lot of you may not have heard this, but Acts 12:4 is a mistranslation of the word Pascha. It's right there in the Greek. And yet, people will still say, I've got to use my King James Version. Well, it's based on a Roman Catholic script, the Latin Vulgate. That's what they used as the basis. Now, the interesting thing about this word is it's not found anywhere in Scripture, but it is referred to as ISHTAR in history. That's who this is. It's sometimes, if you look it up in a dictionary or encyclopedia, you'll see EOSTRE or ISHTAR. It's the wife of Nimrod. Anyway, where's she at? Well, a lot of people want to know, how in the world did that get mixed up in the Scriptures? The Scriptures don't know anything about that word. It's not something that Scripture uses. But I do have a webpage that I made a long time ago that shows this harlot, the mother of, it's the Great Mother is what it is. It's a sun deity. Anyway, it's Christianity's millstone, because I predicted some time ago that when this information gets out there widely, if the news media ever picks up on it, it's going to really bring about a lot of turbulence. The EASTER Harlots Babylonian Roots. This page is at fossilizedcustoms.com/EASTER.html. You can see it at the top of this video. This promotes the rebellion against Yahuwah. Her effigies portray sun worship, and they're in New York Harbor. They've got a big statue. They don't call her that, but they call her Laberty, lady. It's just rebellion. She's the harlot of Babel and a symbol of lawlessness. Christian teachers are scrambling to recover from what could be the greatest wardrobe malfunction for the mother of harlots. I wrote this a long time ago. Now, it's the connection that's between the name ISHTAR and EASTER. It's just a little phonological variation. You can read this text if you want to slow it down. I don't want to read every word. But I do want to point this interesting part. The Hebrew term PESAK, which describes Passover, was transliterated, not translated, into the Greek script. In other words, the sound of the word was brought over as well as the Greek alphabet could. Transliterated into the Greek script. How many times? 29 times as PASCHA. That's the Greek word that they see in the Greek received text. But the King James use of this word at Acts 12:4 defies logic, since it could not be justified in one instance. Then why not all 29 instances? If you're going to use EASTER to replace PASCHA. Why don't you do it everywhere? It wasn't a festival being celebrated by Pontius Pilate, as some say. But why would they change the word? See, they do that, to explain why they do things. Now, the dirty little secret is that this Catholic tradition overwhelmed the translators. And now everyone is claiming the meaning behind the word EASTR is still clean. They are trying to put a new crust over it to camouflage it, with claims that it means dawn. EASTER means dawn? Well, yeah, it kind of does. It's referring to the GODDESS of the dawn, and it's still based on another pagan deity of the dawn, AURORA. And magicians use misdirection to deceive, and Jesuits use casuistry in the same way. They take cases and they try to equivocate them to other cases and make, oh yeah, it's the same thing. No, it's not. PASCHA is not EASTER. It can't be. It is what it is. They just mistranslated it. All the other translations, they understand. They got it right. Let's see. So they've got 29 instances of PASCHA, but 28 of them in the King James Version. That's odd. Now, this is a pagan deity, is what that is. And I don't know if this is going to be the video that's going to break the beast's back or not. The fourth beast is a fourth kingdom that will appear on the earth. You ought to read this page. It's real long, but it's one web page at fossilizedcustoms.com/EASTER.html. Yahuwah doesn't want us to be mixing up these things. Oh, and the trees that people put up. One of them got burned down in some city recently, and it was reported on CNN. And the panel of reporters was sitting there commiserating. Oh no, they burned it down. A tree. Well, Yahuwah's going to burn down the entire earth and rip away the atmosphere because of our paganism. We've got to get with the program. So the only translation that this word pops up in, EASTER, is the King James Version. So there's, let's get those out of there. You can slow this down and read every word, though. Now, there was one other thing I wanted to show you, and that is this other mistranslation that a lot of you have maybe heard of if you're a real student of Scripture. However, if you're a King James enthusiast, here's what you'll see. Let's see, I think I've got a link to that too. Well, I don't. Most of the people see something else. Maybe I can find it. You can watch me struggle. Search for it. I'll put Exodus 6, verse 3. Okay? Watch this. I don't know if it's going to be big enough for you to read, but here's what it says. Now this is the Exodus 6:3, and this is in the, let's just use any random one here. They all say basically the same thing. A lot of these are based on the King James Version anyway. Now, in this particular instance, at Exodus 6:3, it says, I am the Lord. That's where they changed his name. Took his name out and put in Lord. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty. But by my name, the Lord, I did not make myself known to them. Now, if you just leave that as a statement, it's actually true, because he did not make himself known as Lord. That's not his name. He uses his name in Scripture, the real Hebrew Scriptures, consistently all through. It's in Genesis, it's in Exodus, and it's before this statement. He says he that was what got my attention. I was reading this in other translations first, and I was thinking, wait a minute, he says he didn't use his name. He didn't make it known to them, but he was using it. He made himself known in Genesis chapter 4. And in chapter 3, we have his name written in Hebrew. So he was using his name. He didn't talk to them. And people are calling on his name. That's what they're doing in Genesis chapter 4. And men at that time began to call on the name of Yahuwah. But this statement doesn't make any sense if you leave it as a statement. Let's turn it into a question, as I did in the BYNV. Oh, that's this book right here. Now, I consulted and studied with Chris Koster for many, many years, and I was the director in the United States for ISR for 12 years. But I wanted to make my own translation, and that's what we came up with, the BYNV Natsarim version. You can look this up around on the internet and see what you can find. Read inside of it if you want to on Amazon. You can look inside the book. Now, this is what it says at Shemoth or Exodus chapter 6. This is just a portion, but I wanted to point out that the word Shemoth is what the Hebrew name of this book really is. Exodus is Greek, as is Genesis. The word Shemoth is a plural word, and it means names. It starts out, and these are the names. That's what the book starts out with. That's what the Hebrew books are called by the first word or the first phrase of how the book starts out. Now, this basically, Musha is Moses. He's talking to Yahuwah, and he says, Yahuwah, why have you done evil to this people? Why did you send me? For ever since I came to Pharaoh, that's the real transliteration of the word Pharaoh. Pharaoh is more of a Greek thing. Pharaoh, you remember Farrah Fawcett. It's the same word. For ever since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to this people. And you have not delivered your people at all. Well, wait for it. And Yahuwah said to Musha, now see what I do to Pharaoh. For with a strong hand he is going to let them go. And with a strong hand he is going to drive them out of his land. And Elohim, that's Yahuwah, spoke to Musha and said to him, I am Yahuwah. And I appeared to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Jacob as Al Shaddai. And by my name, Yahuwah, was I not known to them? See how it changes when you've got a question? And that's very important. He's going to fulfill his promise. That's what he's saying in the rest of this. So there it is, a question. And I appeared to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Jacob as Al Shaddai. And by my name, Yahuwah, was I not known to them? But they changed it in the Latin Vulgate and the rest of the translations, and especially in the King James. It sounds like he's saying, and by my name, Yahuwah, I was not known to them. And we know that can't be true because he's using his name all through in the earlier parts of the book and in Genesis, Bereshith. Hey, thanks for watching this, and I hope it helps you, and you can share this video with other people and let them know that there's more to learn. We'll see you later. Bye now.